Hello, I'm Kyle Michael. Welcome. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, but I'm happy to be here to put my thoughts and my heart out into the world. And hopefully this video can be meaning and of benefit to you. It's been a wild year so far, that's for sure, to say the least, but we are still here and still moving forward and getting better. That's all we can really do, right? All you can do is all you can do. Just make sure you're doing all that you can do. So yeah, it's good to be back here. I have a lot going on with life, so that's why you haven't seen a video. I'm training to become a licensed psychotherapist, MFT, couples and families and individual therapy. And with that, it's been a lot of growth, a lot of learning, but with my schedule, it does take a lot of time with the training classes, and I also work at a treatment center and at the moment, and so it's, but either way, here I am, here we are. Just give you a little update on what I've been doing. In this video, I'd like to talk about the question or the thought on bravery. How to be brave in life and in relationships. Right? So let us first talk about what it means to be brave. Right? And I've touched on this before, this thought, a while back, I believe, in one of my videos. And I heard a quote by Customato, the boxing trainer who trained Mike Tyson. And he said that there's not a ton of difference between the coward and the hero. When a dangerous situation presents itself to the coward and the hero, they both feel the same internally. They both feel a feeling of stress, anxiety. They're both scared. They both feel fear. But the difference between the coward and the hero is that the hero moves forward and the coward runs away. And that always has stuck out to me. And what makes that thought very powerful is that it's easy to think that the hero and the courageous one doesn't feel fear, and that's why they can do it. And maybe that's an excuse that those who tend to choose the more cowardly path, maybe that's what they would like to think, that they're just different, that their feelings are different from other people, and that's why they respond the way they do. But the truth is, now granted, yes, fear is going to present itself in varying degrees to different people, because we're all on a scale of different things, different emotions and whatnot. But what can't be denied is that we all feel a sense of fear. We all can be put into situations where we have to decide whether we're going to run or move forward, right? And every situation is going to be different. There'll be some situations where maybe it's better for you to get out of there, depending on the situation. But what I want to focus on is applying bravery to those situations in life where by moving forward, you are moving forward towards growth, you're moving forward towards something positive, You're moving in the direction that is best for you, as opposed to running away because it's easy, because it's comfortable, because there's no growth in comfort. You know? So, with that in mind, how does one become brave? How does one apply bravery to their life, especially if they feel overcome with fear, they feel anxiety, they feel that stress, and running is their natural reaction? So how does one choose to move forward, especially in the midst of feeling so much fear? Well, for one, it's very important to keep in mind what we just discussed about the hero and the coward. Remember, the hero feels the same as you do. They just move forward. In those particular situations where moving forward is best. And I think that's where it's also important to realize that human beings are very dynamic. And we do have choices that we can make. You know, and by realizing that we all can feel that feeling of fear, and we can choose to be heroic, we can choose to be brave, that's powerful. And bravery at times, bravery is a choice. What do you do? And you can apply that to life. Maybe you're afraid to leave your job because it's comfortable, or something that you've been doing for a while. Or maybe moving from that is the best thing for you. It's going to take bravery because it's scary. Or maybe you're in a situation where you're anxious, and your first inclination is to run and leave. But maybe in that particular situation, the brave thing to do will be to keep moving forward, to stay there where you are and see it through, while implementing the best actions that you can implement, given the circumstance. When it comes to relationships, one of my very favorite topics, relationships absolutely take bravery. Absolutely. It's a scary thing to make yourself vulnerable. It's a scary thing to potentially show the side of yourself that is not perfect. There may be even times during a relationship where we might be afraid that we'll look weak. But that's where it's important to remember that there is strength in vulnerability. There is strength in allowing yourself to show yourself to someone that you'd like to be in a relationship with. When you get into a relationship with someone, you're doing so you can be, and that other person can be, in a real relationship. There's a difference between being with someone and relating with them, being in a relationship with them, understanding and accepting who it is that they present to you, and vice versa. Relationships are a two-way street, so they have to, it has to go both ways. And it's scary, especially things are different, I believe, nowadays. So it's you look at the dating world, it's a jungle out there. So to open yourself up can be scary. It takes bravery. And with that, you have to ask yourself, is what you desire, as far as what you'd like to have in a connection with someone, is that worth being afraid and moving forward? And then on the other side of relationships that aren't in your best interest, the toxic relationships, the relationships that people can find themselves in when they're with someone who's selfish, narcissistic, and doesn't have your best interest in mind or in heart at all. But then we can become, as people, we can become codependent. If you don't really work on you internally, and understand how you attach to people, what your attachment style is, how you function in relationships, you can wind up being codependent on someone in a negative way. And there's a difference between codependency and interdependency, a big difference. I'll probably do a video on that at some point. And so, if you find yourself in a codependent relationship, and if you find yourself always trying to appease someone, if you find yourself holding back your truth, holding back you, especially if you're coming from a genuine loving place, and you find yourself that you're always trying to maintain order, because with them chaos is only a flutter away. I don't know if that's a saying or not, a flutter away, but I think it makes sense here, whatever that means, right? Chaos is right around the corner. And if you find yourself always trying to maintain order and going against what you know to be right for you, well, it's a scary thing to leave a relationship, especially if you feel like you care about the person. It's a scary thing to leave a relationship, especially if you perhaps feel that if you leave, you might not find another. That can be a scary thought. But if you find yourself in a relationship where you know that no real good can come about, not in its current state, then the brave thing to do is to walk away. You see, in those situations, the coward stays because they're so afraid. The anxiety leaving is too much. So they stay in the misery. But that's where you have to be brave and know everything will be okay. And that's also where confidence comes in. as we work on ourselves, we build our confidence, and as our confidence builds, we can find that it's a little easier for us to implement bravery in our lives. And a thought to keep in your mind, especially if you happen to be dealing with maybe a negative relationship, or something just to keep with you along the way. A quote: "I'd rather be hated or disliked for who I am than loved for who I am not." You see, well, first thing, with that too, a thought. Someone can't even really love you for who you are not. So if you're not being genuinely you, and if you're not allowing yourself to express yourself genuinely because you feel that that person wouldn't like it and would leave, or you're just not going along with what the program is, do they really love you? Is that real love? That's toxic, man or woman. And that's not the best place for you to be. So you have to keep that in mind. And, you know, we're all in different places, you know. I'm sure those of you watching this video, some of you may be single and maybe dating. And so let me talk. So for those that are single, maybe you feel maybe uncomfortable about being single. But realize that this is a beautiful time for you to connect with you in a way that you have not before. Because when we're in a relationship with someone, now that's a new dynamic of us, because I believe that certain things about ourselves start to present themselves when we're relating with someone in an intimate relationship. That's where our insecurities will show. That's where, you know, we'll really get to know ourselves. But you take those instances, and then when you're single, that's where you can really do your self-work. Right? That's where you really can begin to build and grow. And so don't look at it as a time of loneliness. Look at it as a time of a time where you actually got to connect with you in a way that you had not before. And you'll be better because of it. For those that are dating or considering dating and wanting to date, and maybe yeah, don't be afraid. And you know, or maybe allow yourself to feel the fear at times, but be open and honest, and realize, hey, I'm a little scared, because maybe, you know, been hurt before, or maybe, you know, you know how things can go, so it can be scary. But if you feel like the person that you're talking to is worth giving it a try, then move forward. If you think it's worth it. You know? And, you know, who knows how it will go. But if you don't give it a try, you'll never know. Who knows how it will go. But if you don't give it a try, you'll never know. And for those that are in relationships, you know, hopefully they're going well, but things will come up. As I said, relationships are where you really get to see who you are in certain situations. You know, you get to see how confident you really are. You get to see where your insecurities are. And we all have them, you know. in some shape or form to some degree. But how do you work through them? And can you work through them healthily? And is the person that you're with, are they able to work through their insecurities healthily? And are they able to work with you, and can you work with them through those things? And if you can, then I'd say that you you have yourself a pretty special relationship. Those are hard to come by, somewhat rare, when two people can be on the same page. But with that being said, if you can at least be that person and present that to them, and if they can see where you're coming from, see the value in coming off that way and embodying that, then I'd still say that you got something worth working for. And that's where couples therapy is incredibly beneficial. And I recommend it to every couple. Every couple. Whether things are going bad or so-so or even good. It's very important, to really learn how to open up the lines of communication so you can really connect. And but and for those that are possibly in a relationship that's not going well, and if you feel that you're really not happy, but yet you're scared and afraid to be alone, or you're afraid to lose them because you care, or you feel as if you don't know what they'll do without you, whatever thought that's not in your best interest or in the best interest of the relationship, then that takes bravery too. Bravery to say, this is who I am, this is what I'm willing to tolerate, this is what I'm not willing to tolerate. And if that's not what you can get behind, then I still wish you well, and I still care, but I have to go. Gotta go. And that takes bravery. Takes guts. But you will be better for that, and you're more likely, hopefully, that other person eventually down the line will be better for it, because at some point they got to learn to. Right? All right. I'm going to end that there. Thank you all for watching. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel and share this video if you feel someone could use it. If you have any questions about hypnotherapy, I do hypnotherapy. I'm not currently licensed as a psychotherapist, so I can't do that as far as private practice just yet. However, I can perform hypnotherapy, and if you're interested in that, you can email me at kylemichael@magicminds.com. Also, feel free to check out my website, magicminds.com. www.magicminds.com. Check out my Instagram, magicminds, and and so I'll plan on doing a video not so far from now. I hope not to have that as big of a gap as we did. But I'm working hard, and I have some projects that I'm going to be working on too, because I think that they're important to put out there while I'm here.